Good evening, everybody. Hope you can now hear me well. My name is Scott Griffin. I am IPI's Deputy Director, and I want to welcome all of you distinguished IPI and Media Innovation Festival guests and supporters to the award ceremony for this year's IPI IMS World Press Freedom Hero and Free Media Pioneer Awards. So, as many of you know, at each Congress, we gather to honor the courage and resilience of journalists and media outlets around the world who are persevering, often at risk to their lives and their freedoms, to deliver the news, to deliver the truth, to deliver the information that we need to exercise our human rights, our democratic rights, and they're doing this for their communities and for the world. So this evening is a chance to honor that as part of this year's World Congress. And I want to thank all of you for joining us on this special occasion. I'd like first to say that we're especially grateful to Radio and Television of Bosnia and Herzegovina, or BHRT, for hosting us this evening in this building. And I'd like to invite Mr. Haris Bilalovic, an editor and host here at BHRT, to the stage to give us a few words of welcome.
Thank you so much, Scott. What a group, what an opportunity, and what an event. Welcome to premises of Radio and Television of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Be free to call it your home while in our country, because this building, an impressive one as you were approaching it, is truly a fortress of public broadcasting in the Western Balkans. I have that honor, unexpected one, I should say, to welcome you on behalf of BHRT management as editor and host in Religious Affairs program. And I'm now very glad I did not have a second thought about accepting that invitation, because I see so many impressive personalities in what's the biggest TV studio in the country. You're hosted tonight in TV Studio A of BHRT, which stands officially for the biggest television studio in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Briefly, I find it highly, but truly highly, symbolical gesture of IPI to choose BHRT premises as the host premises for the award ceremony. Why? Because you have in the official name of the Congress, Media Innovation Festival, something I would like to add upon, and that's Media Survival Festival. Survival is the key point for BHRT nowadays, which might be the first broadcasting company on European Union and European soil which might suspend its operations. The situation is a very dire one, and I find it, and I'm thankful to IPI team to find this opportunity to alarm you on what has been going on in the past few years, intensively past few months, about our future as independent public broadcaster. I am the child of this house. This is not company. This is not my employer. This is not somewhere I go to work from 8 to 4. This is a house which has been formating me ever since, from the children's program until nowadays Religious Affairs, where I serve as editor and host. Back in 1991, I remember passing next to the TV building with my family, asking them and telling them actually, one day I will be inside of this building. I'll be man of radio, I'll be man of TV. Then came 1992, as you know, the conflict and dissolution of Yugoslavia, 1992, 1995. I was, not allowed to pass by the building because the shelling was so heavy. Some seriously heavy bombs were headed our way. However, during those years, BHRT, back then Television of Bosnia and Herzegovina, maintained. Many years after, in 2024, some structures are not so sure if the public broadcasting system in this country is needed. So therefore, I would say that this award ceremony tonight should be dedicated not only to the innovation, but to survival of free and independent media. And therefore, I would like to read the statement of EBU president a few months ago, appealing to all parties involved to take into account the importance of public broadcasting system in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Of course, you are very familiar with the name of Noel Curran. He is Director General of European Broadcasting Union, and his last written statement quotes as following: "In times when access to reliable news and information is crucial, we must do everything in our power to protect and preserve the work of public services like BHRT, and I trust your support in this matter," he said in a letter addressed to the local authorities. To conclude this in a more optimistic note, you are amazingly looking brunch, dashing brunch, I would say, and you will have a memorable evening here tonight at BHRT. Let's celebrate, let's protect, let's cultivate the free, independent journalism which gathered you here in Sarajevo, in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Please feel like at home, because BHRT is your home while you're in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much, Haris, and to the whole BHRT team for hosting us this evening, and I think for those words as well. And I think we all share the concern about the developments here, and in particular the prospect of not having a public broadcaster at such an important time for journalism and for our societies. So now we're going to get into the presentation of the awards, but I just want to say that for nearly 10 years now, IPI has jointly presented the Hero Award and the Pioneer Award with our partners at International Media Support, or IMS. And we're really grateful for these many years of working together with the IMS team to honor the power of journalism. And to join me on stage, I'd like to invite now IMS Executive Director Jesper Højberg to join me in giving a brief introduction to these evening's awards.
Thank you very much, Scott. And first of all, I just want to congratulate you and your colleagues at IPI for organizing this extremely important and fantastic conference. Yet again, you've done an amazing job to put this together, and it's well appreciated, and our collaboration over the years is really well appreciated. I'm here on behalf of International Media Support, and I'm proud and I'm honored to once again be part of giving out our two joint awards, the Free Media Pioneer Award and the Press Freedom Hero Award. And we've done this for almost a decade now. Just give me 1 minute. I want to reflect briefly about why we give these two prizes. Why are they so important? First of all, this year, we give the Press Freedom Hero Award to Gaza's journalists collectively. We really want to acknowledge that they have all worked together and supported each other in an extremely dangerous environment. The second reason for giving these prizes is that the journalists that we are honoring tonight, they are not just professionals. And I think this has really come to all of us, particularly during the Gaza crisis here. They are also parents, they are grandparents, they are brothers and sisters, they are friends and colleagues. So we want tonight's prize also to recognize and honor, and sometimes we forget that, the human behind the effort. And it's also an honor to all of you. There's a human behind every story. The third and last point I want to make is that with this evening's award, We celebrate the journalists of Club and Gaza for their enormous courage. This cannot be said enough. You refuse to be silenced. You insist on your right to do your job and to continue to do it despite the acute danger that you face. If that is not the very definition of courage, I don't know what is. And it's something for which we all owe them, all of you, especially tonight, the Gaza journalists and the journalists from Club, our respect and gratitude. Dear friends, colleagues, and guests, with those words, thank you very much for your attention, and I'm going to give the floor to Zafar Abbas, Editor-in-Chief of Dawn in Pakistan. He's also an IPI board member, and you will present the World Press Freedom Hero Award. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, to start the ceremony, we would like to display the names and photos of all the journalists who have been killed during this conflict since October the 7th. These were the names of all those journalists who have been killed since this conflict has started. Well, I come from a country where scores of journalists have been killed in the last couple of decades. For a very long time, Pakistan has been regarded as a very dangerous country for journalists. I've personally attended several funerals of colleagues and friends who died while reporting and died in the line of duty. I'm sure there are many journalists over here who can tell you similar stories from their own countries. But what is happening in Gaza has simply no parallel. Nothing can be compared with the atrocities that are being committed over there, the way journalists have been targeted and killed. Yes, it's true, when journalists are covering a war or a conflict, there are serious risks. Journalists who are deployed over there, journalists who opt to cover such conflicts know full well that they might be killed or injured while working, and it happens all the time. But when journalists are being directly targeted, when their family members are being eliminated, it's altogether a very different story. And this is exactly what is happening in Gaza these days. Even after more than 100 journalists and media workers who have been eliminated, Israeli forces continue to directly target journalists over there. destroy media houses over there, block line of communications over there, and there is nobody to stop them. In fact, Israel or Israeli forces over there have given a new definition to the culture of impunity in crimes against journalists. They have absolutely no regard for the international laws, and they do not care what the world is thinking about them. They are, at the moment, bent upon targeting every journalist who wants to inform the world what is happening over there. During yesterday's inaugural session, at one point, Yumna Al-Said made a remark that they have no option but to continue to cover the events over there in Gaza. She said they have no choice. Well, I believe options are always there. We have been regularly taught that no story is worth giving your life. Pull out from a situation where there is a danger that you may be killed. But by refusing to take that option, journalists like Wael, Yumna Al-Said, Wafa, and scores of other journalists have demonstrated a kind of courage, perseverance, and a responsibility to continue to inform the world what is happening in Gaza. Basically, they want to continue to remain there, continue to tell the world, even at the risk of dying or being targeted by the Israeli forces. Today, we salute all those journalists who have been killed in the line of duty in Gaza, those who have been directly targeted, and all those journalists, scores of them, who continue to report from there in the hope that one day the world will wake up and will try to do something about what is happening in Gaza Strip. Thank you. Now, we will be playing a video of all those journalists who have operated from Gaza. The video has been prepared by the IPI team, collecting all the footage from all over the world.
All right. Yumna, please take cover if you are in a position to do so safely.
From the very first day, the rockets started falling on the Gaza Strip.
We're at El Yarmouk neighborhood.
Yumna, at this point, I'm going to just let you take cover.
Okay.
Yumna, take cover, and we will...
أصوات الانفجارات وكذلك السماء المنيرة أو المضيئة بالقنابل والقذائف كانت مرعبة جدا. هذا الكابوس لم ينتهي أبدا حتى هذه اللحظة.
اضطررنا خلال الأيام الأولى للحرب للخروج من مكتبنا، وأصبحنا نازحين بالمعنى الحقيقي، لا فنادق ولا منازل ولا أماكن آمنة. لقد اتخذنا من المشافي مكانا للعمل وإدارة العمليات على الأرض.
هناك خطر دائما يراقبك في كل مكان. أنت تخرج إلى الميدان وعلى علم تام بأنه أنت في أي لحظة تكون مستهدف.
الحياة أصبحت صعبة للغاية في الحقيقة. قطاع التيار الكهربائي والإنترنت ضاعف من الأزمة كثيرا. حينما تتلف المعدات لم نجد البديل. هذا أمر غاية في الصعوبة أيضا.
الإسرائيلية على منزل يعود لعائلة علوش هنا في شارع غزة القديم بجباليا.
And the challenges of finding water, of finding food, of finding safety, those basic necessities of life that we were completely deprived of.
القصف كان مستمرا ولا مجال للتفكير مرتين.
As we're getting into
Yes, sir. Oh my God, did you hear that? Oh my God. Oh, that's the hospital, that's the hospital. That's the hospital. Oh my God.
نعم، كنت أرى الموت في كل مشوار مهما كانت مسافته قصيرة. لقد رأينا دماء وأشلاء وجثث وركام يفوق الخيال.
كل غارة جوية، كل طفل مصاب، كل عائلة مدمرة، كل صوت لناجي وحيد بيصرخ على عائلته. كل هذه المشاهد في نفوسنا.
Although I've been out for 4 months now, I just can't get rid of these pictures in my head. I can't forget them. I can't sleep because of them.
ولكن أيضا دائما بنتذكر رغم كل هذه الأشياء بأهمية رسالتنا في نقل الحقيقة.
بفضل جهود الصحفيين على الأرض طوال الحرب كنا صوت الناس.
نحن صوت من لا صوت له.
لا يمتلك الحدود الدنيا من الآليات.
الانفجارات، ولكن نحن هنا لا نتحدث عن انفجارات،
إلى استهداف المراسلين الصحفيين المصورين كامل.
بدون الصحافة وبدون نقل الصورة سيظل الظلم خفيا، وستبقى القصص الإنسانية مدفونة تحت ركام الدمار.
I'm truly delighted and truly in appreciation of receiving this Freedom Award. It means that this is a recognition to all the hard work, to all the sacrifices, to all those difficult times that I have been through.
Hello everyone, I am Najla Al-Iskafi, a journalist from Gaza Strip. I shared this video with you where I experienced for the first time in this war. I thank IPI for its editors, and I ask you to pray for them.
هذا منبر مهم للفت أنظاركم جميعا زملائي الأعزاء لما يحدث هناك، وهي دعوة لزيارة غزة أيضا، فرصة لأن نسمع من أهل غزة ولا نسمع عنهم.
رسالتي إلى المجتمع الدولي هي أن يظل واعياً ويقظاً تجاه ما يحدث هنا في غزة. يجب عليكم دعم حرية الصحافة هنا في غزة وضمان سلامة الصحفيين، لأن عملنا يمكن أن يحدث فرقاً حقيقياً في العالم أجمع.
What you just watched, the images that you saw, is the crime for which the journalists in Gaza are being punished on a daily basis, just because they are trying to tell the world the kind of atrocities that are going on in Gaza Strip. Now it is my honor and privilege to invite Yumna Al-Saeed and Wafa Rahman to receive the Press Freedom Award being given by IPI and IMS, and they are to receive it on behalf of all the Palestinian journalists operating out of Gaza.
Simply our heroes.
It's very hard to speak after this video that just brought up every single memory again. It's not that we have forgotten. It's not that we have recovered. It's not that we can ever forget, because it's an ongoing struggle, it's an ongoing suffering that has been going on for years and years, but this genocide is indescribable in every meaning of every word, in every language of every world. Today, I'm lucky to be among you all. I have received this award on behalf of all my colleagues, the Palestinian journalists in the Gaza Strip, covering this genocide for the past 8 months. Some who have survived, many who have paid their lives, and others who are still trying to survive this genocide from inside Gaza, as they continue to show you the images of what is happening there every single day. I'm lucky to be among you today because I hold another passport that is different than the Palestinian passport, a privilege that many Palestinians do not have. Me and my dear friend Wafa, the two Palestinians who were able to make it here, we were able to make it because we hold other passports. A natural privilege that every citizen of this world enjoys, we have been deprived of because of our nationalities as Palestinians. And this just adds to the many injustices that we have been living since we were born as Palestinians. Thank you all. Do not stop speaking about the injustice. Do not stop speaking about the genocide in the Gaza Strip, and free Palestine.
Thank you. I'm a Gazan by birth. My family. My family is still there. When I look at Yumna, she's stronger than me. Is it the guilt feeling? Or, sorry. Or it's the disappointment of the world, not the journalists, the international community, the international mechanisms. I've been active in the civil society and media for more than 20 years. We've been teaching people the human rights mechanisms, the freedoms, the different international treaties. And today, we cannot do that anymore. They don't believe us. They don't believe the world that let a genocide happen for more than 8 months, streaming live on media, social media, not the conventional media. Are we here to crucify the journalists, the international journalists? In a way, yes. Why? Because we care about you, because we trusted you, because we thought you considered those people that you saw as colleagues, not only people who are just covering news, they're covering themselves and their families. And because I work with them closely every day, I have a team, we lost many of the journalists that you just saw their names. I would like to dedicate this particularly to women journalists. We hardly speak about women journalists. We see the reporters of the main TV stations, but we don't see the freelancers. We don't see the young journalists. Hala Asfour, who was here, she's one of ours. She graduated 6th of October, and she was in the field 7th of October, covering and insisting to cover. For those women journalists who were targeted by the Israeli killing machine, I would like to read their names again, because they're my friends, they're my colleagues, they're part of the work that Palestiniat has been doing. Ala El-Hams, Heba Al-Abadla, Salam Mima, Ayat Khadura, Amna Ahmed, Hanin Al-Qatshan, wa Ola Atallah. And there is Saad Skeik. I want to stop at Saad Skeik. She was one of our brilliant young journalists. Actually, she wasn't killed by a bomb. She had to evacuate her house with her 2 little daughters, and she died of a heart attack. And for me, she was killed. It wasn't simply a heart attack. With all what she went through, she died, and that wasn't a natural death. And also to Rushdi Sarraj, Abdel Karim Auda, they're male journalists, but they were very important journalists supporting us, and they were killed. They had a future. They're young and very innovative. And for those, as we honor the people who were killed, I wish to honor the team that is still broadcasting, that is still reporting. My team at Palestiniat in Gaza, Mona Khader, Shireen Khalifa, Islam Al-Astal, Ala Abu Aisha, Marah Al-Wadiya, to the missing journalist and a friend, Nidal Louhaidi. He's missed. He was missed the first day of the attack. No one knows about him, anything, including the Red Cross. We don't know if he's alive or if he's dead or killed. For our freelance journalists, you saw Hala, Wafa, Madeleine, Wala, and Sam Ferial, and many of them, and the list goes on. There is 2 things that I wish to stress here. One, you need to understand the Palestinian journalists might be the only people on earth that don't have the right to safe refuge. As Yumna said, we were able to make it because we hold different passports than Palestinian passports. And the Gazans, there is no safe place, but in addition to that, they're not allowed to stay in any of the surrounding countries. They're not invited to Europe, as the rest of the countries that have crisis. The Arabs don't receive them, Europe doesn't receive them. Canada, which claimed to receive 100 families, received none. This is the only case that I know in my life where people don't have the right to safe refuge, and they're not allowed to even evacuate their countries unless they pay the Egyptian $5,000 per person. The other thing is the accountability. It's time to hold the Israeli occupation accountable. What happened in the ICC and the ICJ is the first step, and this will not be concluded if we don't talk about the genocide. It's genocide. You need to stand in front of the mirror and say, it's genocide. The first day I come here and I heard the Bosnian people talking about the genocide 30 years ago. So it was Bosnia 30 years ago, and then comes Gaza. I was like listening to them and feeling this is exactly what is happening in Gaza, and maybe worse. And this is not to compare victimization, but yes, I felt at home. I felt at home because I could see that you can relate, and I can relate to all what you described, and with maybe little difference when it comes to Gaza. I cannot say this studio presents something very important to the journalists when it comes to Gaza, or a hotel, the hotel where we're staying. It means something very important to the journalists who are covering the genocide, because no hotel is still standing in Gaza, and no studio is still standing in Gaza. Our office was bombarded in 2021, and thanks to IMS, we rebuilt it again, but I'm not sure if we can rebuild anything anymore. So yes, we need you. We need your support, and we need you to talk about Palestinians, not only Gazans, because this is not a war between Gaza and Israel. It's an Israeli war against everything that is Palestinian. I live in the West Bank, I know what does it mean. We're under attack every single day. Palestinians inside Israel, they're under attack. Palestinians in diaspora, they're under attack. The hope came from campuses, from students, and they still carry hope that will come from colleagues and friends all over the world. The journalists, you are the agents of truth. You are the ones who are going to tell the story. Thank you for this award. It will mean a lot to our journalists, and it means a lot to me personally. It makes me relate more to the cause and insist to fight more. At the end, I wish to give the IPI this. It's embroidery. Everybody is asking me about what I'm wearing. This is a Palestinian traditional thing. But before I provide, I give this very simple token. I wish we can stand for 1 minute silence for Gaza journalists, the one who left us and the ones who are still waiting. And I hope they will continue to live, and this genocide will stop today and not tomorrow. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yumna, Wafa, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your story with us and helping us understand what Gaza journalists face. And I think we can all agree and make a clear call that the killing of journalists in Gaza needs to end. The ceremony, I know that's difficult to follow the next steps in our ceremony, but we're going to move on to present our second award of the evening, which is the Free Media Pioneer Award. The IPI IMS Free Media Pioneer Award is presented annually to organizations that are meeting the demands of the moment through innovative models of journalism, media, or press freedom defense. They're opening up new ways of thinking about the free flow of information to strengthen independent journalism and meet the needs of their communities. Many of our IPI IMS pioneers often work in challenging or repressive media environments and are compelled to adapt and to stay one step ahead of those who aim to silence their work. And that describes this evening's Free Media Pioneer Award recipient very well, as we will hear, Kloop. So with this award, we also honor that ingenuity and that perseverance in bringing public interest news and information to audiences in desperate need of it. This year, as in previous years, we published a global shortlist for the Free Media Pioneer Award to honor the very many organizations that are doing incredible work to innovate and inform their communities, and as I said, stay one step ahead of those who would seek to silence or disrupt their work, or to think about new and innovative ways of bringing information to the public. I'd like to just read that shortlist, and some of our Free Media Pioneer Award shortlisted organizations are here with us this evening, so if you are here, please raise your hands. So we have Agência Pública from Brazil. We have bius.info from Ukraine. We have Sinozo from Burkina Faso. Daily Maverick from South Africa. Of course, Filastiniat from Palestine, as we just heard. Hong Kong Free Press. The Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, OCCRP. From Serbia, the Slavko Juruvia Foundation. From Pakistan, the Tribal News Network. And finally, also from Ukraine, Women in Media. To help me present this year's Free Media Pioneer Award, which is going to Kloop in Kyrgyzstan, I'd like to invite to the stage Anna Lepeveri, who is the chair of IPI's Finnish National Committee, a newly elected IPI board member, and a member of the jury that awarded this year's awards. Anna.
So thank you, Scott. For us in the jury, it was really obvious that who will have the Press Freedom Hero Prize. But also it was really obvious that we want to see also hope somewhere, and we find it from Central Asia. We are proud to honor that the Kyrgyz independent news outlet Kloop with this year's Free Media Pioneer Award will be soon given on that table. This award honors Kloop's remarkable resilience and commitment to its vital watchdog mission in the situation where anti-democratic development in Kyrgyzstan is rapidly getting worse. The government is actively trying to silence independent media, including Kloop. Kyrgyz authorities have initiated the spread of similar foreign agent bills across the region, including Kazakhstan, Georgia, and Turkey. On this moment, there is an ongoing effort to shut Kloop down, which IPI strongly condemns. We stand with Kloop and its journalists. Kloop is a pioneer of brave and uncompromising investigative journalism in Central Asia. In nearly 2 decades, Kloop has grown into one of the most popular independent news sources in Kyrgyzstan, specialized in exposing high-level corruption. Kloop often focuses on stories that affect the public basic needs. This public interest investigative reporting, where Kloop uses innovative techniques and has increased its efforts to engage its audiences also through social media, is a global inspiration for us all. In addition to this, Kloop's work extends to several activities supporting the future of quality media and upholding democracy. So really, it gives hope. Its journalism schools aims to support the next generation of journalists. It has trained more than 10,000 election observers using software development in-house, supporting the monitoring already 5 elections in the country. And its new journalism hub in Warsaw aims to support journalists from Central Asia in exile and under pressure. And now we will see a short video honoring this year's winner.
Independent journalism is the cornerstone of any democratic country.
Journalism fight corruption, femicide, and the propaganda machine every day.
I believe that truthful and honest information for society contributes to the development of our country and the improvement of our citizens' lives.
This work is so important. We talk about corruption, illegal arrests, and femicide. The state, politicians, and propaganda do not want to solve these problems.
It's important for people to have access to objective information and to express their opinions.
Now in Kyrgyzstan, freedom of speech is being killed.
The main challenges we face are related to pressure from government structures and various influential groups. This can manifest in legal harassment, restrictions on access to information, cyber attacks, and attempts at intimidation and blackmail.
People in Kyrgyzstan forget about human rights. This hurts, because until recently we were famous for our democracy. They prefer to talk about independent journalism as their enemy. But we ask, fight corruption and not violate human rights.
It's also important to note that we have to contend with the propaganda machine, which unfortunately leads to information distortion, as this information is often dictated by our government. It's important to continue our work because independent journalism helps protect citizens' rights and ensures government transparency. In the face of media pressure, our mission becomes even more significant.
We see that hushing our problems only makes the situation worse. There is a complete lack of rights for society. It is important to defend freedom of speech.
Our mission becomes even more significant as we remain one of the few sources of truthful and independent information. The international community should understand that supporting independent media in Kyrgyzstan is critically important for preserving democracy and human rights in our region.
This award inspired us.
This award not only validates the importance of our efforts, but also draws attention to the challenges we face. It gives us additional motivation to continue fighting for press freedom and independent journalism, and shows that our work matters not only for Kyrgyzstan, but for the entire world.
So, now it's my honor to invite club co-founder Rinat Tuhacin to the stage to accept this prize.
Thank you so much. I just saw this video and I keep forgetting how young our reporters are. We actually, when we opened our media in 2006, we weren't able to locate reporters that would fit our requirements. We wanted to do completely new media, so we decided to train our reporters ourselves, and we continue doing that. And I almost forgot how that we had such a great office, because recently we had to abandon it because of the pressure from the government, and it's actively trying to shut us down, and we face surveillance, and we didn't want to make their job too easy so that they would be able to basically see everyone who works in club who comes to office. So we had to abandon our 2 offices in Kyrgyzstan. But in the same time, we announced our first ever in Kyrgyzstan massive open online course in Kyrgyz language on mobile journalism, and 1,000 people signed up. So we will continue working despite the pressure from the government. We will persevere. I mean, we already lost 2 lawsuits to shut down our organization, and the liquidation process will start any day, and at some point the Kyrgyz government will be able to close down one of our main legal entities. And I'm just keep wondering, and so they will close down legal entity. Do they really expect us to stop working? No, we will not stop working. They have some kind of like this magical thinking. Okay, destroy legal entities and you destroy journalists. No. Unfortunately, journalists can be destroyed only physically or by being jailed. And fortunately, so far, nobody from CLOP is jailed. About large part of organization is out of Kyrgyzstan now, but there are still brave people staying in Kyrgyzstan. But unfortunately, there are other journalists in Kyrgyzstan who are jailed. And for all of you, I want to hear the story of investigative media outlet Temirov Life. Kyrgyz government also tried to pressure them. They exiled their founder, but they didn't stop their work. And so they came to their office and they jailed every employee in the organization, and some former ones, 11 people in total. Now some of them are under house arrest, some still in pretrial detention. But that's the type of work conditions that we have to face in Kyrgyzstan when government authorities can come and just arrest literally everyone for some reason inciting public unrest. Now our government tries to represent any government criticism as inciting public arrest, and there's unfortunately so many civil society members and social media users who are in detention now or under house arrest for just criticizing government online. I'm very honored on behalf of all CLOP journalists. I want to say that I deeply honored and grateful to receive this award. And I also would like to thank all of our loved ones, all family members and loved ones of our journalists, because journalism is such a profession that when journalists suffer, very often he or she doesn't suffer alone. Also, their family members suffer. Very often they have to go in exile, they have to face the pressures, they have to face the threats of their loved ones being jailed. So personally, I would like to thank my grandmother, father, mother, sister, my wife, my daughter, and my son for supporting me and staying with me even if I had to leave my country. I would like to thank our audience who are the only reason why we exist, because we exist for our audience. If not them, we would not have a reason to work. I would like to thank all our institutional and personal donors, and thank you people on Patreon. Thank you so much. I would like to thank separately OCCRP for their support and sharing their knowledge and skills. And even though they were in the short list, they still won because CLOP won. We are their member center. And I used to be their programmer intern in Sarajevo in 2018, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I would like to thank people of Poland and Georgia for giving us shelter in such difficult circumstances. And I would like to thank Ukraine for fighting for all of us, because in this war you are protecting Thank you. Not just your freedom, but also freedom of so many other countries in the world, including Kyrgyzstan. And thank you so much to IPI for giving this award, for recognizing us. It's very important because our government constantly tries to pretend that we are not journalists. They say that many of you don't have journalist diplomas, but now next time when they say that, we'll show them this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rinat, for those remarks. As we prepare to wrap up this evening's ceremony, I wanted to share with you that IPI has awarded around 75 World Press Freedom Hero Awards in our long history. Many of those heroes have faced severe repression, imprisonment, attacks, and as we gather here this evening, one of our World Press Freedom Heroes is currently imprisoned in Guatemala. He's been imprisoned for over a year and a half. And to give us an understanding of what he is facing and to join us in a call for his release of Jose Ruben Zamora in Guatemala, I'd like to invite to the stage my friend and IPI's World Press Freedom Hero, Carlos Dada.
Good night, everybody. What a night. It is my role in this evening to speak about our friend Jose Ruben Zamora, as Scott said, a previous World Press Freedom Hero, who has today 664 days in prison. For denouncing corruption. Without a due process, he has been accused of 3 criminal cases, and he is still in prison. Jose Ruben is one of the most renowned journalists from Central America, a region that is now losing its democracy and again entering the years of autocracies and dictatorships. Jose Ruben is a symbol, but of course not the only one in prison now in Central America. Demanding his release, his immediate release, is not only a matter of justice, but it's also a matter of protection for all other Central American journalists that don't have his visibility. Jose Ruben has been suffering a treatment in prison that amounts to the international standards of torture without a due process. And his case is a blatant fabrication made up by those he has so energetically denounced because of their corruption. I would like to take a few seconds to speak about another Central American journalist in prison that does not enjoy Jose Ruben's visibility. His name is Victor Ticay. He's from Nicaragua. He has been sentenced to 8 years in prison and accused of treason to the nation for broadcasting a religious Catholic ceremony. As Scott said, while we are here, people like Jose Ruben has already more than a year and a half in prison. When he was arrested, there was a huge international scandal. But powerful, corrupt people know how this works. After some time, no one remembers that a journalist is still in prison. So we need to demand his immediate release and the release of all those like him around the world that are going through unjust prison just for trying to tell the truth and denouncing powerful corruption. It is vital to keep their stories alive. That was my role tonight, but I don't want to leave this stage without saying something. When I received the World Press Freedom Hero Award 2 years ago, I received it with Shireen Abu Akleh. As Safar Abbas said a few minutes ago, there is no parallel with what our Palestinian colleagues are going through. Shireen Abu Akleh serves to all of us to remember that Israel's deliberate targeting of Palestinian journalists didn't start after October the 7th, 2023. We stand by you, and I feel honored to be here tonight with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos, and I think all of us join you in calling for Jose Ruben's immediate release. Before I close, just a short logistical note. The first bus back to the hotel will leave at 7:30, and the final bus will leave at 8. But until then, obviously, you're all invited to join us in a reception honoring this year's World Press Freedom Hero and Free Media Pioneer Award recipients. So, having said that, I want to thank you all for being here this evening, for taking part in this award ceremony, and for joining us in reminding us why we are here. Celebrating the value of freedom of speech, honoring the courage of journalists who are reporting under incredible, unfathomable conditions, and celebrating together the value and power of journalism. So I want to thank all of you again for being here, and please enjoy the reception. Thank you very much.